on today are the 7 core metrics you need to run your store. I don't know about you, but like it can be overwhelming. Like what to focus on, what to trust, Google ads, Facebook ads, the Shopify dashboard. Where should you look? When attribution is an issue, you don't know what to trust and you don't know what's working. So I want to help. We're going to talk about the Pareto principle, right? The 80-20 rule of metrics. And as we've grown brands, the big aha moment, the big unlock was that, hey, we actually just need 7 metrics to see how they're trending, to drive our actions, to drive our behavior, to let us know to invest in inventory, to invest in ads, or to pull back, to be more conservative. So these are the 7 metrics. And so the first 2 are my scaling metrics, right? Cost per new customer, marketing efficiency ratio, also known as MER. The next 2 are health of the website, conversion rate, and average order value. Then I'm looking at ones that give me context on scale, ad spend and revenue. And then for businesses, especially where retention is the lifeblood of sales, it's returning customer rate. I put a bonus metric in here, which is the profitable scaling margin, also known as PSM. It is not one of the core 7. Why is that? This is not a metric I look at every week. This is a metric I care about to drive strategy, but it is not a metric that drives my week-to-week behavior, which is why it's not in the core 7, but it is an important one. And we'll talk about the definition of it and why you need to know it. Okay. Let me tease this dashboard. This is a live look at a dashboard for our own brand need, basically the past 20 days, and the metrics I care about. And again, just to kind of drive this home, see in here in the blue, the GrowthHit scale metrics. These are the metrics that tell me how to manage my team. I have guardrails for my customer acquisition cost and for my MER, my marketing efficiency ratio. We'll come back to these in a second. And notice the trend lines on how I care about quality, which is the MER, marketing efficiency ratio, wanting that to be over 300. And then I understand scale and quantity with order volume. Okay, we'll come back to this. First metric, cost per new customer. Over 65% of Shopify stores are either an acquisition-based business model or a hybrid-based business model. What does that mean? That means that most of your sales are coming from new customer acquisition, meaning the majority of them. So you absolutely care about your customer acquisition costs for new customers because this is how you grow. This is how you scale. Simply put, we're going to take our total ad spend divided by new customers, right? Yes, we want to get granular by channel, but again, core 7 metrics, I simply want to know how much am I spending, how many new customers am I getting. As a pro tip, usually depending on your margins, you want your CAC, customer acquisition cost, to be below 33% of your lifetime value, or even your average order value, or how much someone spends with you in 90 days. There's kind of 3 options there that you can work through. Again, it depends on the margins, the gross margins of your business. Is it 50%? Is it 75%? What is it? Okay, so we got our CAC. We're filling out what that is. Maybe it's 33% of what people give you. The next one is marketing efficiency ratio. Notice how we don't have ROAS, return on ad spend. The problem with that is we can be dependent on platform. The problem with that is it can be a little short-sighted. I want to know the big picture. How am I being efficient with my total deployment of ad resources, right? How many dollars do I make for every dollar I spend, right? Total revenue over total ad spend. Again, it depends on your margin and it depends on your retention. But usually you're between like a 2 to 4 with your MER. So one call out, with your marketing efficiency ratio, if you have a really good retention rate, repeat purchase rate, you have a subscription product, you're doing supplements, this can probably be a little bit lower, right? If you have really good margins, it could be a little bit lower. Or if you're definitely an acquisition-based business model, the margins are tight, it might be a little higher than this. But again, there's calculations we can do to uncover that for you. All right, the third one. Now that I know my scale metrics, I need to know, hey, how's the website doing? Are we healthy? Are we allowing our growth channels to perform? So first, I care about simply conversion rate on the website. I really want to know, what is conversion rate? Yes, we can get granular by mobile, by desktop. We can get granular by ad channel versus non-ad channels. But again, depends on the business, depends on your average order value. Usually like a 2.5% is a ballpark. Again, that can vary. We have brands that are doing 5% because it's a low cost impulse purchase. We have brands that are at 0.9% because it's a customizable product, and it's something where you bring in another stakeholder to make the decision. Example, a customized sectional couch. So I care about that. Here's the other big one that I care about: average order value. Why? This has a huge impact on your marketing efficiency ratio. This has a huge impact on your return on ad spend. And so, for example, with Neat, whenever we're looking at our average order value, when we acquired the company, the AOV was $50. And so what we realized was like, man, if we're trying to be first purchase profitable, our cost per acquisition has to be really low. But if we can start to sell bundles and get that AOV to $100, $120, $150, it makes it much easier for me to be first purchase profitable. And so what I have found is, as I look at conversion rate, I look at average order value, it really gives me some good insights, right? Because I would see our conversion rate go up, but our AOV go down. And it's like we're selling out of bundles. We had broken bundles, so people had to get one-off products. So we would re-merchandise the website to keep that healthy. Total ad spend. I really care about ad spend from a percent of revenue perspective. I care about ad spend from an efficiency ratio, right? So in the early days, your total ad spend, it can be very high as a percent of revenue. It can be very high as you're starting to test and learn. But as you grow and scale, you want that to be coming down, right? Some elite brands, again, it depends on the phase of growth that you're at. We have some brands that are more mature that are between 5 to 10%. We have other brands that are at a high growth phase where it's 30 to 50%. The key is knowing your ad spend based on your phase of growth and if that aligns with what that percentage should be. So those are things to know. Again, it's going to vary based on your business model and your phase of growth. Okay. Returning customer rate. Yes, we care about new customer acquisition, but if you have a product that is a retention product or hybrid product, this is huge. This is profit. You've worked so hard to acquire these customers. What are you doing to retain them, right? So returning customers over total customers. This is what we look at. Like with our brand Neat, we're so focused on new customer acquisition. We're like, hey, we need to be more reliant on our existing customers. We need to diversify. So we're doing actions like launching our email automation flows. We're launching SMS and text messaging, retargeting, wanting to kind of boost up that returning customer rate. Again, this can vary by business model, but usually over 30% is what we want. And this is one that we are actively pushing. But again, if this gets too high, it might be because you're inefficient with your new customer acquisition and your ad spend. So you always want to have context for how this is performing. All right, the final one, super simple, and I put this last, but it's a net sales. This is the one where, it's kind of the lagging indicator of all the other things that we're doing. But it's like, what is the sales factoring in returns and discounts? Yes, gross sales is a higher number. It's more fun to look at, but this is the one that really helps me know how efficient I am with running the business. Because like, hey, your cost per acquisition could be great, but people are returning the product, or you're acquiring people because of discounts. This helps give me that health. And then the bonus metric I wanted to hit on is your profitable scaling margin metric, PSM. So what is the calculation for this? You take your lifetime value, you divide it by your cost per acquisition and your cost of goods sold. So why is this metric important? This metric helps you know what is the profitability of your marketing, right? It's not short-sighted looking at a one-time purchase. It's looking at a longer time horizon of how much money a customer gives you over the lifetime. You could even consolidate that LTV number you see right there. That could be your lifetime value over 12 months, over 6 months, over 90 days. That's a business decision to think through what that is. But again, as you're looking to grow and scale, you want to know, hey, what is the PSM number we should be targeting, right? Again, ballpark number depends on the business model, depends on the margins that you have. But roughly, for us, having it over 3 is healthy, where we can continue to pump money into marketing, into growth, and still not lose money, still be profitable. So the higher your PSM, the more room you have for investment. Okay, so those are the 7 metrics. I want to call out 2 of those. These are the 2 that I look at first every week, because yes, I care about sales. Yes, I care about ad spend. Yes, I care about conversion rate. But right away, I'm like, how much do we spend to acquire new customers? And what's my overall MER? Because candidly, our numbers have been quite good over the past few weeks. The cost per acquisition is really low. And so I've been like, guys, push the ad spend, push the growth. We've 3x ad spend in the past week, and the numbers have still held. But I've been able to make those decisions because I'm looking at the efficiency of acquiring new customers. I'm looking at marketing efficiency ratio to make sure we have the growth. And just to kind of show that in action, here are those 2 numbers. Again, over the last 20 days, been able to get about 40K, and we've been doing it by acquiring customers at $32. Our ceiling is around $60 for new customer acquisition, and that's not even factoring in repeat purchase. So if I can spend 60 and it's at 32, what should you do? I should probably spend more. And again, our MER can be below, it can be around 250. We're above that. So if this number is high, I'm saying push. So as you can see, we've been really ramping up. And yes, the MER has come down a little bit. Again, this is after we got more inventory, but it's still super efficient, right? It's a 450 in this case. And so these are the things that I look at. And then I start to look at the other 7. And the other thing I care about is how they're trending week to week. Because you could have a good MER, but if it's trending down, I might not be ramping up the spend. I might want to see how things settle after 72 hours before I start to really put more money after ads. So let's see here. Okay, cool. Hopefully you guys are hearing that okay. All right, and then here's a bigger look at that dashboard, if that's helpful. And this is something we make for our existing clients or any new clients, just to help them understand their metrics, but really know those scale metrics so you know how to actually run the business. And then again, some other fun things that we have, the Ultimate AI Growth Toolkit that we've been building for Shopify brands, and the Sold Out Playbook. I can put these links here, or you can go to the GrowthHit site and check those out. But hopefully this is helpful as you're looking to grow your business, figuring out the metrics that matter. These are the 7. I'll go back to flash them up. These are the 7 we use to run our businesses, to run our brands. But yeah, let me know what you think. If you have any other comments, feel free to hit me up. But thank you for the time today.